So yeah, welcome to the second episode of Correlating You and Your Money. I've been running a whole lot of leadership talks for over a year now, and we decided to include a money talk once a month as well. The idea behind correlation coaching is correlating you and your money, putting your money together as well as the dreams that you want to live. So that's where it is going. Our second talk today is going to be done by Gerbrandt, who's sitting there in Cape Town 501. He currently works at Morningstar. He's a head researcher there. He'll give us a bit of background about himself. The reason for today's talk is most of the discussions that I've been having with my clients in the past couple months has really been around what's going on here. Should I stay? Should I go? Where should I put my money? Is South Africa a good place still to be? I'm seeing a lot of immigration, a lot of people actually leaving the country. And then to top it all off, the difficulty is having a discussion around returns. Clients haven't seen returns in about 6 years. And it's the same story. All right, well, just hang in there. Things will change. Things will get better. And we'll wait for Zuma's cabinet to go, and we'll wait for this, and we'll wait for that. And yeah, I believe that sentiment is very, very negative at the moment. However, there's always a lot of positivity. So when things are down, there is always good news. And I was hoping that Gerbrandt could shed some light on what is going on, what we have seen so far this year, what we can expect, and just any other words of wisdom. So, Gerbrandt, I'm going to hand over to you and just say good morning to everybody. Thanks for joining, and let's play. If you've got any questions, just unmute yourself, and I think ask Gerbrandt if you're happy just to have an engaged conversation.
I think we're small enough groups, stop and ask questions. So I've been with Morningstar for the last 4 years, coming up September. I'm doing fund research, part of managing of our global portfolios, and chatting to clients. And that's always part of my job. So today I just want to share a little bit of good news. I think we're all currently in the slump where we are bombarded with negative news. And sometimes we need to step away and just look at the bigger picture. So for me, there is a lot of bad news around, and I can't today just say it's all just sunshine and rainbows in SA. We do have problems around Eskom. I think we've all experienced the effects of Eskom and mismanagement on that side, and we've seen the impact on our economy. And instead of unemployment, we do have a significant unemployment problem in South Africa. And we can't sugarcoat these issues. It headwinds and it will have an effect on our GDP, but I don't think we should just always focus on these two factors. And that brings me to things like we're not alone in having political problems or instabilities or concerns or worries. Of ex-colonizers, the UK is sitting now, they've got a massive problem. By the 31st of October, they need to exit the EU. By the looks of that, there will be no trade agreement currently between them because they can't decide how they want to deal with Northern Ireland and Ireland, the border there. So they might be in for a very, very messy divorce in the next coming weeks or months. And so they're trying to struggle around that. I think we as people always are worried about the volatility of the rand. I think we've got accustomed to it to a certain extent. It is fine to see how they freak out about the pound weakening. If you look now, I think the pound and the euro is almost trading at parity now for the first time ever. So they are complaining like crazy for the first time ever that their currency lost some value. And in the US side, we've got Trump. And I think Trump even blown all of our minds of expectations of what a person can do with a tweet. A tweet can send the markets crashing, spiraling, can affect our currency, global currencies, and he just needed to be a tweet from me at the middle of the times. I think one of the biggest concerns currently that they're struggling with is the trade wars with China. And we've seen now the last few weeks that is maybe starting to realize that by putting all these tariffs on all these different countries, it's having an effect on a global scale. We've seen global growth starting to decline across the world, and that's not just due to the fact that that's that level of uncertainty between them. So it means that developed markets also has issues. It's not just us having problems. And then we look at our brothers, the other emerging markets. There's also some issues, and I'm going to get back to this point, but for me, it's like, it's everyone. I think the last week we saw the Argentina index fell by 37% of the, and that's like they call it like a 17 sigma event. So it's supposed to be unlikely once in your lifetime should a market fall with 37% in one day. And that was just for you, the fact they've now got a very socialist president that they've elected, and now the concerns are they going to default on the debt? Or what can this person do to the country? In the past year, we had Turkey. Turkey had massive issues. The inflation spiked at 25% last year. So we were complaining currently about our 6-7%. There's people around 25. I'm not talking even about Zimbabwe and their issues. And then you got Brazil. Brazil also with new leadership has got issues. So it's not just us. There is problems around the globe. It's an emerging market, global economies, developed markets. It's not just us having problems. But it's not all bad. And that's the sad part. So I don't think the media is placing any value currently on some of the good news factors. One of Cyril's promises was that we were going to get foreign direct investments into SA. So since October last year, we've seen over 250 million already being implemented in SA. And you won't find this in the news. It's not interesting, it's not sexy, it doesn't sell papers, but that is a lot of money that's been actually flowing into SA, going into infrastructure and development. So there is some good news, but we don't see it always. And inflation is actually under control. For the first time in ages, it's actually been in the mid-sides of the band, and it appears for the next year or two, it will remain in that band. And we know that if you can get inflation under control, if you can get foreign direct investment, it can lead to growth in the country. So it's not that we've got issues and we'll never get growth again. There are some green shoots of possibilities happening. And I think a lot of, so I think you mentioned it, we saw Cyril coming in power, it was at the end of 2017, and we thought like it's going to be quick. He's going to change it around and it's going to be magnificent. The whole ANC, the whole government is going to change. And while things have been slow and expected, I think we have forgotten about the things that he's actually achieved. Because he's not a very vocal person in announcing the stuff he's been doing. But these are just a few of the stuff that he's actually able and succeeding in doing. And it has been over a long period of time, almost like a year, but he's making at least progress. I think even this slide doesn't include the fact that he did the very unpopular thing about decreasing the parliament size. Because that means there's a few of his comrades that's now suddenly jobless. And they had to find now new jobs. So he is making progress. But also you understand, politics is like a very large ship. To change direction takes time. It takes a lot of effort and willpower to change it, and also it's been done for a while. But at least we're all seeing the changes. But the sad part is we're not seeing this good news in the papers every day. For another example that we like to use is, we know they are busy. One of the big law firms in Cape Town is sitting with a special police force unit, and all their focus currently is taking out corruption at the middle management level. And that's an area that doesn't get any press. So they're trying to clean up all these SOEs, but they're not doing it from the top as we expect what we want. They're actually starting from the bottom. And if they find any corruption, they let it go. So there is change in these SOEs. There is, but it's not headline news. And because it's not headline news, we don't see it, we don't feel it, and we always discount it to a matter. But there are changes coming. There is changes in progress, and we're in a stabilization phase. And unfortunately, it's going to take time. It's not going to be as quick as we expected. But the problem is, while all these changes take longer than expected, our business confidence has been very low and has remained low. And why are we worried about business confidence? Business confidence is one of the biggest ways to create jobs and stimulate the economy. So if you remember back when I mentioned like unemployment is one of our biggest issues, this is one way we can solve it. So how do you solve business confidence? Business confidence is like firstly, you want to have great leaders in the country. Great leaders that then you trust and believe in, and then they start implementing changes in processes. And as soon as that starts happening, businesses become more confident. So then they say, okay, we're actually on a good track. I think we're going to make it. Let's start investing. And if you just look on what cash corporate SA is sitting on, it's a bulk of money. If they just get that confidence back, the amount of infrastructure spending that they start doing again in SA can be, that flywheel effect can be amazing. And that can lead to long, sustainable job creation. I think SA has been on this track for a while where the public workforce is the main driver of employment. And that's not really sustainable in any country. So if we can get corporates to get trust back in and start investing, and that will lead to job creation, that will stimulate the economy, and that will make us grow. So the one thing that Cyril is trying to do is trying to get that confidence back. We've seen it being way more friendlier than Zuma compared to being businesses, corporates. But the one thing that corporate doesn't like is that he is very quiet. So when something comes out, any concerns of news gets filtered, like we're going to annex the Reserve Bank, or he's very slow to come out and say, guys, slow down, this is not as bad as you think, or guys, this is the reason why we're doing it. So, and as long as you don't get that certainty, you don't get that communication, it just uncertainty keeps playing around. But if we can get certainty back, we can get investments again, we'll get job creation, it will lead to GDP improvement and capital. So there is possibilities, opportunities. It would be worse if corporates were sitting on any cash at all. Because then it means that even if business confidence comes back, there's no money, there's no cash to actually start your businesses or grow their businesses or expand globally. So it's a good thing, sir. And also that means that SA corporates are actually relatively well off. It's not like they're going to fall over the next day or two. They've got significant cash, even if GDP remains low for a while, to sustain their businesses. So let's get to business opportunities. I think we're sitting currently here where everybody's worried about everything and they don't believe there's any business opportunities left in SA. The only place to invest now is offshore. And we've seen a lot of guys taking out money offshore currently because they believe it's a safe haven and that's the only place that you can get returns given the massive rally that we've seen in global markets in the last year. So I'm likely to put on this slide. This is the yield on government bonds on a 10-year government bond. So I just want to put Switzerland in context. So what this is saying, like, you're going to give Switzerland your money, they're going to keep it for 10 years, and every year you're going to pay them 1% to keep your money for you. So it makes absolutely no sense. And it was a very long, it was believed that a bond yield can't go below zero. And that is a scary fact, is that you are so desperate for safety that you're actually willing to give these countries your money for them just to keep it, and you're going to pay them to keep your money safe for you. The US is one of the only developed markets that's actually got a slightly positive yield of 1.6. So I tried to do these numbers yesterday, so it could have changed by now, but that is one of the only reasons. And that's why we've seen the search for yield on the global side. Because governments are supposed to be one of your resources, one of your sources of yield and income in portfolios. And another way to look at it, you can't really see the light blue one, but it's right there. This says like 80% of all government bonds is giving you less than 2% yield per annum, or 2% yield. And close to 30% of all government bonds is giving you negative yields. So For a developed market pension fund manager, it is the worst possible position because you're supposed to be matching your liabilities with bonds, and currently you can't do it at all. Let's come to their side. This is us. Our 10-year bond yield is actually sitting around 8.4%. So if you want to put that to real terms, we're currently yielding 4.2%. And these are some of the other government, the emerging market and developed market bond yields. And you can just look at it, and we are currently getting a CPI plus 4% return from our bonds. And I know there's a lot of like worries and negativity about, or like concerns about like us being downgraded. I think I've read an article the last week stating like how much foreigners are pulling money, and it's the end of SA again, and we're going to go to junk, and then it's just going to be this horrible effect, and we're all just going to lose all our money. So you might think that 4.2% isn't really worthwhile. And I want to say we've already been priced in for junk. We've already been pricing in that we're going to get downgraded. And we also believe that this whole downgrade is being overplayed by the media. It's causing way more hype and concerns and worries in South African investors that is really warranted. So firstly, our yields already priced as being downgraded. So according to the global markets, we are junk status, and our yield is comparable to other guys in a similar structure. So we don't believe we'll see a dramatic drop in bond prices. I think on the day that we might get downgraded if and when it happens, we might see a spike, but we also believe in the weeks afterwards that the bonds will come back to where it is. And the second thing I'd like a lot, it's been playing a lot in the news currently, saying like, when we are getting downgraded, all the countries will be forced to sell us and we'll get no inflows. So we were doing some work and been looking, and so that's one of the reasons why the guys are not currently buying our bonds and selling, because they are worried if we're going to get downgraded or not. The guys that is only allowed to invest into investment grade treasuries are selling us because they to make sure that they're in mandate. A lot of the guys are not selling us because their mandates allow them to, if you bought it at investment grade, you can keep it even if we downgrade it. I think Japan is the only people that needs to sell us if we drop out. And then the third thing I'm going to highlight is, as soon as we fall out of investment grade, we fall into high yield credit. And high yield credit is also one area that's got a lot of money behind it. So as soon as we fall in that, we'll get new investors into our bonds. Because again, we're sitting currently compared to the other guys at a very attractive real yield for those guys. And remember I showed you the slide that all of it, not all of the emerging markets in a great position. So compared to Brazil, compared to Argentina, compared to Turkey, we are looking relatively stable. So we are the cleanest shirt in the dirtiest bunch. So while we're currently concerned about being downgraded, it can actually lead to new investments into our country. And these guys need to find some way to park their money. And so if you look at a lot of portfolios currently, they're looking to emerging market, local currency debt, because that's a great investment opportunity for investors. Most of the guys will just hedge out the currency effect and they still can get an attractive real yield of their client's portfolio. So another thing I want to mention is, so we've seen a lot of these outflows from the foreign investors, but we'll notice that bonds are actually still positive for year to date. And the one reason for that is there's a lot of SA corporates and SA pension funds and SA investment industry that's actually underweight SA government bonds. So as the foreigners are selling it, local guys are buying it. Because we've been for a long time searching for a real return asset. And bonds actually be providing this for us. So even in our portfolios, we're having a significant sum, getting significant allocations towards government bonds. And if you take it for a client that's a moderate that needs like CPI plus 4, bonds is actually a great asset class currently giving you that opportunities. So for mine, it's like, it's not all doom and gloom in bonds. There is some opportunities. And when they get the news out there, it makes us scared to invest in SA bonds because we're going to get downgraded, it's going to be bad. But we don't think it's going to be bad. I think a lot of that bad news has been priced in. And currently, we're getting this great opportunity to get the CPI plus 4 asset class in portfolios. And these are small blessings. but I think we always forget about. I think South Africa, we do have a great a quality of living. Even if it doesn't feel like it always. I think you should sometimes just chat to people that live in different countries. So I had the luxury of being the privilege to be in our London office for a few months. And to my shock, the first time I tried to buy coffee, because I do have a bit of a coffee addiction, I discovered like 57 rand for a coffee. So for me, that was I had to seriously cut back on my coffee intake. And then I went to a conference and even got a worse shock, because now I had about 86 rands for a coffee, and it was a small coffee. It wasn't even like a branded deluxe with all the toppings and all the sprinkles. Then I went back to London. Luckily, the rand strengthened a bit, so it became slightly cheaper for my coffee intake. Then I went on holiday, paid again more, and then I came back to Cape Town, paying 30 rand for a coffee, and if I do it before 7:30, I can get it bootleggers for 19 rand. So this is just like you can get 2 cups of coffee for the price of one overseas. And Copenhagen is even more expensive. And this is not just about coffee, it's about all of our expenses. We've got friends that are living in London, one lives in Hong Kong, who are actually thinking about migrating back to SA, because raising a family in one of these countries is super expensive. Your childcare costs are through the roof. It's cheaper for them to move back and take a salary cut, live in SA, than trying to pay their costs. So while we're always concerned about like our currency and SA, it's not like we are living an impoverished life. I want to say, like, we do have some perks in our country. So I'm very happy to be back. And I think what I want to mention is that I think that a lot of emotions also plays on currency. And I think Michael did an article that you can get from Jason about like this currency exchange rate rat race. Where a lot of the time, as soon as the currency moves, and someone will write an article saying like the currency weakened because SA did the following. Currency weakened because Zuma did something, or someone said something in the news, or we're always trying to pin it back to SA politics. And we actually discovered, I think a lot of companies have done research and saying a lot of these currency movements is not due to the fact that what we are doing in SA. We're part of a global economy. We have one of the most liquid emerging market currencies. And as soon as Trump tweets about Trump, the trade wars, as soon as something happens in other emerging market countries, we just get pulled along. So a lot of these currency movements is actually not due to the fact that we are doing in SA, but it's just being part of a global economy. But again, that gives an opportunity to buy 30 rand coffee in SA. So my summary of it to you guys today, just get to the disclosure slides, is it's not all that bad. And I think it's how we spend our time and what we read and what we do. You have the opportunity to read Magnus and to read Norby Ruud on a daily basis. They will always fear among you, because you have to remember that, like, what is their agenda? So one of my things I do, I go into a healthy little bit of skepticism every time I read an article. What is the article telling me what is it trying to tell me? Is it trying to push something on me, or is it trying to create a narrative? Because a lot of the time, it's about the person who writes something to get a certain outcome. So we've seen a lot of these articles flying around that SA is going down, you should take your money offshore. And by the way, I've got this great little product for you that you can use and invest. So be a bit more skeptical, and I don't say don't read the bad news, but try to balance it out with some of the good news stories in SA. If you just read the bad news, that will become your narrative, and that will become the point where you anchor on. Because we've got this nasty habit where if something bad happens, we anchor to that and say, like, over the next years, it's going to be like that. And I'm a bit aggressive. I think that Zondervan Commission is going currently on. We're hearing about all the corruption, and it is stomach turning to know the amount of corruption going on. But it was going on. It happened. It's past. It doesn't mean going forward the level of corruption will remain. I think the Zondervan Commission is a great way of rooting out it, but also means that possibly a stop to all this corruption and fraud that's going on. So whilst they're hearing about it, I don't think we're going to get the same level going forward. I think we've got a way better structure currently in place and checks And it's also a great indication of showing that if you're corrupt, you will be found out. I think we still want to see your heads roll, but from my side, it's like, it's changing. It's at the darkest before the dawn type of environments where there's a lot of bad news, but I don't think it's going to be that bad news going forward. I think there's great opportunity. So I think we've got a great living standards. The quality of living is not actually super great. And there is the small changes that's good. And we just keep focusing, keep on plodding along and working hard. It's going to be great. So I'm actually very positive about this, and that fact. And that is my story for today. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. And
thanks, Gerbrand.
Also, Joel, sorry.
Just wanted to say thank you very much. I mean, there is always positive shoots that are available. I think in any situation that if you have a look, you can choose which side you look. And we do tend to focus on the negative side rather than the positive side. It's just in our nature, I suppose.
It is South African nature. I think I did a study a while back about the positivity or the negativity of countries. And we were one of the worst countries to that extent. So any good news, we discount immediately, and any bad news, we amplify. So, and that's great wide conversation. Have you heard about our inflation? Have you heard that's on the commission? We like talking about it, but we forget there's actually other great opportunities around us.
So one question I've got for you is you show that the corporates are sitting with close to 850 trillion rand in cash. And you said it was billion rand, I think, in cash. Billion. And you mentioned that when they decide to invest into the country, I mean, there's going to be a lot of change. I mean, I get that. So cash comes into the country, it creates jobs, creates opportunities. The question is, what are they waiting for? They're waiting for certainty and they're waiting for more stability. But when are they going to say, all right, we have that?
I think it's, to an extent, it's coming to that point, but I think there's still a lot of, that's what said like when Magashila said like we're going to take away the Reserve Bank, we're going to nationalize it. As soon as they say something like that, it freaks them out. And that's where Ramaphosa is supposed to step in and say, okay, guys, we stop doing this. If there's no certainty around it, we're going to. So any little spikes of news stories cause this uncertainty and worry to the guys. So they don't want to put money into a country. I think that happened in the last year about the whole land issues. So a lot of agricultural companies said, like, well, we don't know if they're going to take away our farms, so we're going to stop production, or we're going to sell it, and that's causing a lag effect. So you want that. This is the economic policy. This is how it's going to be implemented. This is what we're going to do. Then they'll have like. So they want that. Okay, this is the course of action we're saying. This is how we're going to fix it. I think Eskom is one thing. There's still so much unclarity on Eskom. A year or like a few months ago, it's like we're going to break it up. We haven't heard anything yet. How we're going to break it up? It's still in process. So you've got this like snippet of news, but no action planning. And as soon as the action plan is addressed, then people can say, okay, we're going to have electricity for the next 10 years. Let's go build a plant, do manufacturing. We know we're going to have an issue with having not the power to produce our items. So you want that almost like a resolution of not start hanging things in our economy.
Do you believe that you mentioned that there's an action plan that needs to take place, but they're waiting for certainty? Do you think they're actually thinking about an action plan and building an action plan to say, all right, once we're at that level of comfort, here's the rollout? Or do you think they're waiting for the level of comfort to come first before they even start thinking about action plans?
No, I think, so the reason that they're sitting with cash, if they were paying out in dividends, that means we're not making a plan. They're saying to guys, we've got this cash, we're not going to do anything with it. There's no plan for the future. We're just going to give back to you in dividends because it's no use for us. But the fact that they're keeping it in the companies, that means that they do have a future plan or a rollout idea of what they want to achieve, and making sure that they've got enough capital on books to implement it at a later stage.
Thank you. Any other questions, anyone? before Dave falls asleep? All right, guys. Thank you very much, Gerbrandt. And yeah, I mean, it is very difficult to keep having a look at the positive side, and it is a very difficult conversation that we are continually saying that things are going to change and things are going to move in the right direction. I truly believe they are. I do believe we're living in a great place, and I agree with you completely that our standard of living and the way that we live here is fantastic. So it's just to keep looking in the right direction, I suppose. So thank you very much. And if guys have any questions, can I send them your email address and just say?
You can definitely send my email address.
Alrighty, cool. Thanks all. Thanks, guys. And have a lucky day today.
You too.
Cheers,
Bye.
Bye.